want you to hit me as hard as you can.
We'll tear your soul apart.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Now the dream is over. It is away.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Talking Movies. My name is Josh.
I'm Clay.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Randall.
And today we are talking about Chris's pick this week, Exhuma, from this year, 2024.
Yep.
South Korean film.
애들 다 죽어.
뭐가 나왔다고 거기서. 겁나 험한 게.
Chris, fill us in on the details. What is this movie about?
I don't know.
Well, you picked it.
Dude, I watched 2 breakdowns of this movie, and I don't know what it was about.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to watch some breakdowns, but I've been too busy to watch them. But yeah, so basically it's about I'm gonna try. It's a group of like ghost exorcist type people. They had a name for them. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, they get called in to move the grave of this old family member because their son is like possessed or something.
It's like the grandbaby.
Oh, that's the guy in the hospital. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
The baby in the hospital. Yes. So yeah. So, you know, this chick and this dude get with this other older dude and, you know, younger kind of nerdy looking Korean dude. And yeah, so they basically move this coffin that they dig up, and then hilarity ensues.
Well, the old guy was a feng shui expert, and that's what his that's why the guy was at the spot he was at, because that guy picked the spot. It's a very, very, I don't know if the word convoluted is right, but it's very it is very complicated. This story is incredibly,
It's a lot. Yeah,
it's a lot. It is long as shit, dude. It took me so long to get through this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of details that I just feel like we're just not in the know or something like that. There maybe is some Korean
5-minute chanting and the drum beating and stuff.
Man, so much chanting.
Well, okay, so in one of the breakdowns that I watched, this lady was saying that if you don't know a lot about like traditional Korean stuff and traditional Japanese stuff, there's going to be tons of this that they're like, if you don't know that stuff, do not watch this movie because you're not going to understand anything. And I was like, I feel way better right now. Thank you.
I was hoping that was the reason. I was kind of giving it the benefit of the doubt. But I'm glad to know that actually is the reason. Because they just throw all this stuff out there and it's like, okay, like the logic is just kind of like
it's all traditional Korean, like funeral tradition and superstition and history. Honestly, it was long as hell, but I did kind of enjoy watching it because it's like I was thinking the whole time, I bet if I was Korean, this movie would be scary as shit. Because these people's faces were dead ass, bro. They weren't giggling and chuckling. They were like terrified. And I was like, man, I bet this movie's scary if you're from Korea.
Yeah. Movie's kind of in like 2 parts. Actually, it's broken up into a few different
5 parts.
But it's really like the first half is a kind of a story, and then something happens in the middle, and then there's a whole other story. So like the first half of it, I was just kind of like, I'm confused. Like, this isn't that scary. I mean, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm like, oh, okay, I'm down for the ride. And then like it just goes wild in the second half, and I'll just say I fucking loved it.
It's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It definitely grew on me. Like as it got toward the end, I was like, all right, like now it's kicking off. Yeah, and it kicked off pretty well. So
yeah,
I feel like I'm in the opposite camp because I was really on board with it for about an hour, and I feel like it kind of I don't know, took a turn that I wasn't.
I think I'm on Josh's side with this one. I really liked it for a while, and then I was like, I got a little tired of it. I was like, look, man, but overall, I think I had a pleasant experience, and I would probably like to watch it again. Yeah. Since I know what it is now, I could probably break it into like 3 or 4 sittings, and then it would be way more enjoyable. And I would probably do a little bit of research first, and then really dig it.
You know, it reminded me a lot of that movie, The Wailing, in a way, because
Dude,
it is.
I got so much.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a lot of traditional sort of chants and like a lot of you know, just background.
Well, I like that movie a lot, so that's probably why I enjoyed this one.
I'm not a giant ghost story fan. Like those, they don't usually work on me very well. So I was a little, I
can see that though.
And I don't love The Wailing either. I think that's a better movie than this for sure. But
yeah, I like that one more than you do. I was a big fan of that one.
I like it, but that too, like those ones just don't hit for me as well. But it definitely gave me a lot of those vibes until it just goes hog wild, And then I like the intrigue of the first half of it. It felt very tense, and then at a certain point, it just becomes sort of like a ghost slasher movie.
the giant samurai guy was so awesome, and the movie is ridiculous. Let's be honest about it. But I do think I never really thought about it until you just said it. Like I think I do like ghost stories. Like just straight up ghost stories. Poltergeist, one of my favorite horror movies. I love that movie, dude. The Wailing is awesome. I like it. This one is like spooky and weird, and the word spooky is something that I'm really becoming like attached to that term because I think it means a particular kind of scary, and it's not necessarily like scare the living shit out of you.
Different feeling, yeah.
Yeah, spooky is more like, yo, what was that? Like that was kind of weird, and like the ghost. That's why I like stuff like Blair Witch Project and I don't know if I'm saying it right. Gonjam Haunted Asylum. Dude, that movie scared the shit out of me, man. It was so effective. But like that kind of stuff I'm super into.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm super into them, but I definitely agree that The Wailing is a little bit just better put together. And again, it's probably if I was Korean or Japanese even, like I could have put the pieces together a little bit better. So I feel like this is one that I would want to watch a few more times, and I feel like each time I would watch it, I would understand a little bit more. Because
likely the case.
I don't know what the giant samurai dude came from and why they were looking for a piece of iron, and I mean, admittedly, it was pretty late at night. But
same.
Like I got to the point where old boy guy, which is I know Josh probably at least knew that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
So it's the guy from Old Boy. He got old.
Yeah. Old Boy's been
23 or something
years ago. Yeah.
But anyway, he goes back to the grave and finds the vertical coffin and like I got to that point and I think I paused it and went, oh my God, I still have like 50 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
I was around the same point. I was like, I feel like we've been through a whole movie already.
Yeah,
dude, that's exactly what happened to me. Is I thought I was like,
how there's still a whole other movie left.
Yeah, but like I hit play, and next thing I know, the movie was over, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I thought the second half just kind of blew by, and I was having a blast.
Yeah, the pace is a lot faster for sure. Yeah.
Well, the first half they're setting up a lot of stuff, man. Like they're showing you like all the people who's involved, and they're telling you kind of like there was some like betrayal going on. I think there was some sneaky stuff happening with these people, and then all of a sudden they started knocking them off, and it was like, oh, well, that problem's solved. Like with the whole what I hated was that they were and this is probably something that's very traditional. So my hatred of it is just annoyed because I don't really know anything about it. But they had to like call the lead mourner and get this woman to like accept the fact that they were gonna set this dude on this like body in this coffin on fire because the guy that was supposed to be in charge of it was like dying. It was just like, yo, it's not that complicated.
Yeah.
Hit the button, my guy.
Right.
Yeah, if you got a ghost in your house, kill it.
Can't cremate in the rain. Yeah, there were lots of processes.
That was one of my notes. Like, there's so many rules, and I don't know any of them. So, like,
it's pretty like
so things would just start happening. They're like, making circles with rice and stuff, and I'm like, okay, sure,
blood.
Dude, that was creepy as shit. That coffin with all the barbed wire around it, that imagery was just really There was just enough cool stuff happening where I was like, yeah, this shit's rad. But like it's definitely, I don't really get it.
It's very tense. Yeah,
I wasn't scared at any point in the movie, but I bet Parker would be. You know what I'm saying? Like a little kid might be scared with this one, but like I don't have to be scared to enjoy a horror movie. I do think it was a horror movie. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, this was definitely all about ghosts and spirits and manipulation of the afterlife and things of that nature.
I mean, that's such a big part of Asian culture. Like, how many ghost stories do they make? I mean, even like a lot of the older Japanese movies are either samurai movies or ghost stories. Like, there's so many of them. It's like a deep part of their culture.
Even their vampire movies are actually not even vampire stories. They're just ghost stories, or at least a good chunk of them. A good chunk of them are.
Yeah, spirits, afterlife, all that stuff is like really ingrained in their culture. It's cool, but
what was the rice that she was asking for? It was glutinous rice, and I was like, they have non-gluten rice. Like, I know that's a weird thing, but it caught my attention because she says it like 3 different times in the movie. Like, can I get some glutinous rice? And I'm like, is that something you have to specify? Like, does it have to? Bro, there's so
different
much
types. I'm sure that they probably got a bunch of different types over there.
Oh, they like rice over there?
Little
bit.
Yeah. I was just saying, I'm definitely admitting to giving it a bit of a pass. That like, I dug the vibe enough, and I dug the kind of crazy bonkersness of the second half. That, I could definitely see myself watching it again. But
how'd you come across this one?
I don't know. I guess saw it pop up on a couple of lists or something. I've seen YouTube videos of it, and
it just popped up on Shudder like a couple of weeks ago, I think, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I know you guys went blind because I picked it, but I mean, I didn't know anything about it. I just knew it was a like Korean folk horror.
Well, once I went to the movie on Shudder, and I was like, oh, I was aware of this movie. I didn't know anything about it. I don't know that I even knew the name, but I'd seen the artwork because I'm on Shudder all the time. But I didn't know anything else about it. But I like, me, I specifically like Asian cinema, so I was okay watching it anyways. I'm down to rewatch it too. It's just, man, their movies are so much longer than ours. Like, it's like their average movie is over 2 hours, where ours is probably like an hour 45. It's a lot more stuff to sit through. You got another 30 minutes of movie or more with every movie that you watch from that part of the world, and it's just hard for me to sit down and watch a Korean film at this point.
Yeah. I mean, most of them I feel like fly by, but this one was a little fatty in places. Technical. I'd say, huh?
I said it was pretty technical. It seemed like.
Yeah. It seems like it gets a little bogged down in some of the details.
How'd you feel about the visuals? I was trying to pay attention to that a little bit. I know they're pretty good over there with their cinematography. I thought a lot of it looked really nice.
It looked pretty. I wouldn't say like it was anything like
spectacularly
special. Like,
well, Decision to Leave was like spectacularly shot.
No, I was kind of looking. It's a lot of drone shots and stuff. It's pretty country, so it's not hard to compose a good looking shot.
That's true.
I like that crazy fire gen thing that flew around the guy's head a couple times.
Yeah.
No, there's some good imagery. I wouldn't say it's like.
Well, there's some really bad CG in it, like those foxes. There's like a group of foxes. It was like really clearly like cartoony.
Yeah.
And then the snake with the lady's head was incredibly bad. Like, it just looked really bad. But I kind of thought that was charming. I was like, dude, that looks so bad. And I was like, that's kind of awesome. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah, I definitely think that's kind of I don't think the Asian market, puts the level of CG that they do over here. But I imagine it's probably not a huge budget too. So
I was just looking at the Wikipedia page for it though, before we started, and apparently, so it came out in February over there, and it's now like the 6th highest grossing South Korean film.
Wow!
It made
ever?
Yeah, period.
Dang.
That's what it says.
Damn.
For South Korea, and it made like 96 million, 97 million. So
wild.
It was big over there.
Knocked it out of the park over there.
Yeah,
that's awesome,
dude. That makes me want to watch it again. Like I gotta go do some research, and because I gotta know why it's so big over there.
Yeah,
it might
people love it that much. Yeah, I
mean that's incredible.
Yeah, I feel like you would have to take a class on, Korean folklore, stuff to really.
I'm gonna text my brother because he lived in South Korea for a while and he speaks it. So
do you guys remember me talking about my buddy James?
Yeah,
he lives in South Korea right now. I'm
really?
gonna next time I talk to him, I'm gonna ask him about this because he's half Korean, half German, and he speaks Korean and he lives over there. He's been there. He's been there for like probably as long as I've been with Carissa. He went over there to like do some teaching for a couple of years, and then just met a woman, and I think they're married now, and they just stayed there.
And they work at Samsung.
Yeah, he's actually an English teacher over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Them motherfuckers over there, like everybody's required to learn other languages. I think we're we're lazy bums over here, man. Like we can't even learn Spanish.
I looked up how many hours it would take to learn Korean, and it was like 88 hours.
It's a lot, dude.
And then I was like, how much for German? And it was like 55 hours. And so, I think English and German are comparable in terms of difficulty. So you got to be pretty damn smart to be speaking some Korean, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Asian languages, from what I understand, are a big jump because they don't have roots in Latin, Right. So if you learn a Latin language, there's a lot more similarities between things. But when you're jumping to something like that, it's a whole different ball game.
Interesting.
Letters.
I've only met one person in my whole life outside of James that speaks any kind of Asian language, and it was a friend of mine that knew Mandarin pretty well. And he was like that. Like I don't know. I don't want to be an asshole. He was like the nerdy, like uber smart guy, and like. Even he was like, that was really difficult to learn that. He's like, and I'm not fluent. He's like, I could travel, but I can't. I wouldn't be able to live there right now. And
I think they have a lot of extra rules to their grammar and stuff. Yeah,
that's wild, man. Well, reading that shit. I don't know if I could ever read like a kanji. I
think reading and writing too is just a whole other level of it too.
Yeah.
I thought about learning it though. I was like, man, I should learn Korean. And like, how hard is that? And then I was like, yeah, that's too damn hard. Way too hard. I can half-ass barely speak some German, half-ass barely speak some Spanish.
I know. I can understand some Spanish when they're talking to me a little bit. I can barely speak any of it.
A little bit.
Yeah. Carissa speaks pretty good German. Not pretty good. She used to speak it a lot better, but she spoke a little bit of German when we first got together.
That's cool. I'm dumb. I don't know any languages.
Oh, bro, I can barely speak English. You guys see me talk, heard me talk. How do you want to say it? See, I can't even do that right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're all on this podcast barely making it.
Oh, dude, I did a podcast with Kenna yesterday, and we covered The Crow because I knew I wanted to watch it with you guys soon, and I was like, man, I want to get a couple of watches in before the new one comes out. And I messed up and drank a Celsius when I was sitting here. In the whole first 20 minutes, I was like, and I was glitching like, bro, I don't even want to upload it, man. But she took the time to watch.
Just super jittery,
so jittery, dude. I couldn't form a thought. I kept tripping over my words. I kept messing up my own thoughts.
Those things mess me up, dude.
Yeah. I like it, but not if I'm sitting down. If I'm out at work at Alamo, they work really well. They help me out a lot. But sitting here doing this shit, no.
I have to eat something first, otherwise I'll be a mess.
Yeah. But it's interesting. But
fun.
I like the movie a lot, though, man. I thought it was pretty good. I would like to get another viewing in at some point. I don't know when. It's so long. I'd probably do it on a day where I didn't have to do a lot and it was kind of rainy outside or something, and I would like, oh wait, let's go watch Exhuma again and like dive into that. I am probably going to listen to a few breakdowns on it. I am interested in it because I enjoyed it enough to do that.
Yeah, no, it was definitely interesting. I'm kind of 50-50 on it.
Yeah,
I liked it, but didn't.
I liked it. I like Korean ghosties. I've watched a couple of them. They're really smart movies. I think you have to pay attention to what's going on, or you kind of get lost. And I like that because it challenges me a little to like pay attention. And this movie's like really technical. So man, I thought it was pretty awesome. Like, especially once the buried ninja, 10-foot tall ninja guy started getting involved, or samurai or whatever he was.
Samurai.
Like, that was, and then the magic started popping off. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I'll definitely look and like try to watch it again just to see if I can get a different experience. Cause I realized after I watched Longlegs twice, like how distinctly different that second watch was for me from the first one. So, you know, a really difficult kind of technical movie, I think it's valuable to have a second watch just so you can figure out what you missed. So
absolutely,
for sure,
recontextualize everything.
Well, what you said about having to pay attention is a good point, man. Like I also appreciate that to a certain degree, because when you're forced to pay attention to something, you get to like immerse yourself in that story. And if it's something that you've already seen 100 times, how many times do you watch a movie that's like one of your favorite movies and you can't even recall watching it? You're like, oh shit, I know I watched that the other day, but because you're like distracted, you're on your phone, you're talking to somebody else, you're texting your buddies. But with something like this, man, I was sitting in here like legit, like sitting up in the chair, like watching that shit.
Yeah.
So if I didn't, I was going to get very confused. I had to rewind it twice.
Yeah, you have to be locked in because they'll say something and then something happens, and if you're not keeping up, then
I asked Bricken if he wanted to watch it, and I said it's Korean, and he's like, "Is the whole movie in subtitles?" And I said, "Yeah," and then he was like, "Okay," and he was kind of thinking about it, and then I said, "Hey, just heads up, man, it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes," and he goes, "I don't think I want to read subtitles for 2 hours and 10 minutes," and I was like, "I'm just asking, buddy. It's all good, man." He's getting into like these movies quite a bit, so cool. Now I'm checking with him with every one of them. Like, hey, you want to watch this? Hey, you want to watch this? It's pretty interesting.
It's definitely not one to probably start out with.
Right. I didn't even consider that. I don't think he's seen anything that was Korean yet.
Yeah, I was, maybe starting with some of the
Ichi the Killer.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not. I don't think it's Korean, is it? I don't.
That's know. Japanese.
Japanese. Okay, yeah.
That's Takashi Miike.
That's
Japanese.
right. Yeah.
I was just gonna say something. Man, I mean,
yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, I mean, he's watched Terrifier.
Old boy.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't let him watch Old Boy. I don't think he'd really understand it at first watch. Terrifier is cartoonish, man.
Fuck his daughter.
If he said, "Did he fuck his daughter?" I would just turn off the TV and go to bed, and I would never speak to him about a movie again.
Failure as a father,
man. Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. Anything else you guys watched this week worth noting? Anything you want to talk about?
I watched something the other night with
I watched Trap this weekend.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Emmy Shalama Ding Dong.
Let him have it.
Man, it seemed just a shameless promotion of his daughter, and he had her like very much in this Ariana Grande experience, what I would imagine to be Ariana Grande. Just like dancers all behind her singing the song, dad's looking at his daughter smiling, and then we're back in the concert. It went on and on and on. I looked at Anna, I was like, how freaking long is this concert? Like, is this a concert movie? I didn't realize. And then the second half kind of kicks off, and it's like he just kind of threw some shit together and was like, all right, this is the Shyamalan twist, watch my freaking spin here, and the movie's over. And I was just like, dude, this is garbage. And I feel really bad saying that because I really like Shyamalan, man. I admire the fact that he's like independent and stuff like that. And a couple of his movies knocked my socks off, but God bless, when he makes a bad one, it's just unbelievable. And that's what this was. I was just like, God, this is stupid. And the serial killer was just a freaking goody two shoes. He's like looking at his daughter all, hi, honey. It's just like, oh God, like, give me a break, dude. Your daughter's like 15. Oh, it was awful.
I desperately want to watch this movie now.
I kind of
and
Randy's gonna love it.
Probably.
You might.
Dude, my buddy leaves the theater and he's in a wheelchair, and so he was leaving the theater and somebody was holding the door open for him, so I knew it was him coming. And I was like, hey man, and I knew what he was watching, and I said, hey, and I'm thinking he's gonna rip it, and I was like, dude, what'd you think? And he goes, man, that movie was awesome. And I was like, huh? And then I stepped back and I looked around. He's like, what? I was like, hey, you saw Trap, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, you liked it? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh. And he goes like, why? You didn't like it? I was like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. Not a lot of people are enjoying this one, man. And he was like, oh, dude, Josh Hartnett did a great job. And I was like, well, shit, all right, man. Have a great day, man. Like, shoot, I'm glad you liked it, bro. I don't want everybody to dislike it. I was very surprised based on everybody else's response leaving the theater.
That's crazy.
Josh Hartnett really did do a great job. Like,
son of a bitch.
I mean, awesome. there's a part of the movie where Shyamalan's in it, right? And they're having a conversation. And he looks over it and he's like talking about his daughter. You know, she's on the stage and he's like, oh, she's just been through so many challenges. I'm just the proudest father alive or something like that. And I'm like, what? It was just odd. It was just odd.
Everyone's saying it's a girl dad movie because the serial killer brings his daughter to the thing, and
that's a good point.
It's Shyamalan's daughter up there, and
there's nothing bad that ever happens. It's just man.
Yeah, he always seems like he doesn't really know how to talk like a normal human. So I feel like just his dialogue is just always just
very stilted.
Just off, and nothing anybody ever says in his movies just, I don't know, they really feel like reality.
Yeah.
I gotta grab my dog. I'll be right back.
How do you guys feel about Signs?
That I've been watching a long time.
Honestly, that's probably my personal favorite because I
think it's universally like best movie. I don't know if it's my favorite.
I'm trying to get Kenna more involved with like being on the show with me because I don't want it to just be this show with another person. So I'm trying to get her more involved, and I want to get a little bit more into details about the movies, and I'm taking more intricate notes if I can. We're trying to do it every 2 weeks, so it's not so much work, but she wants to do Signs, and I was like, man, that Trap movie, I mean, I need to watch that before I watch Signs so I can be like, and talk about them, but like everybody is hating this movie so much that honestly, I'm a little bit afraid that I'm going to be like, what's the big deal? It's awesome. Like I am a little afraid that I'm going to like it, but
I mean, I've heard some people say it's just like sort of a 90s throwback, just like super goofy and
kind of lighthearted, and
it
definitely has some chuckles. But
I mean, but they said that about Malignant too.
That movie sucks so much dick, bro. Oh wait, I forgot.
I forgot Clay likes that one.
Yeah,
I freaking love Malignant.
No, you know what's funny about that movie is that I still have a Blu-ray of that, and I look at it all the time and go, I need to rewatch that because the only part about it that I don't like is the last couple of minutes. Up until the very, very, very end, I'm in. But the end had me so pissed off that it ruined the whole rest of the movie.
Really?
But yeah, man.
I'd have to watch it again. I just remember.
Yeah. Dude, we should do a movie night with fucking Malignant, dude.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I want to torture myself.
Oh man. Yeah. I like M. Night Shyamalan. He's pretty good, man. I like it.
Malignant and Trap double feature when it finally gets
dude.
Cheddar.
Oh, you know what I watched recently? Fucking Bruce Campbell movie that never gets talked about, man. I watched Maniac Cop 1, 2, and 3 in one night, bro.
Dang.
That explains why I didn't get up till 11:30 in the morning, man. I was up till like
a marathon.
Dude, I started on fucking Tubi watching Maniac Cop 1 thinking I was going to be able to like cut up some fruit for my day the next day. You know, I like prepped my food the night before. And I'm like, got it on my phone and I'm watching it. Before you know it, I'm like done with my fruit. And I was like, I had already paused it so that I could go put it on the TV bigger. And then I'm like watching it. And then I get done with it. And the second one just starts right up on Tubi. So I was like, fuck it. I'll watch the second one. And I was like, there's a third Maniac Cop, and I was like, I gotta see this. And so then
with
I watched
Bruce Campbell, he's in the third one.
No, he's only on. I think he's only in the first one.
I think so. Yeah. I watched like part of the first one, and I was kind of into it, and then I had to turn it off for some reason. But
Dude,
it looked like fun.
That movie's
Isn't
badass, bro.
Robert Forster in the first one.
Yeah, there's like, dude, I love when there's people like that in these movies, and you're like, you know that they don't like bringing that shit up, man. You're like, hey, weren't you in Maniac Cop? Fuck no, it wasn't in that garbage. You're like, ah.
The thing is, Robert Forster was not like a big actor for a long time.
No, I guess he wasn't, man. I think of him as a bigger, like more, I guess more like integral, I guess. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Have you I'm sure you've seen Alligator, right?
Fuck yeah, I've seen Alligator.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Well, Tarantino brings that movie up all the time. Like that's why he cast him for Jackie Brown.
That's awesome.
He loves him in Alligator.
Dude, I love Quentin Tarantino for shit like that.
Yeah, he brings up some garbage too, though.
Oh yeah. There's been a few that they did on their podcast that I've watched, and I'm like, this is real bad. And he was like praising it the whole time.
Dude, Quentin Tarantino, I think he's got a similar palette to mine, dude. Like he likes some gems, but he likes a lot of garbage. And I'm like, I feel you, Quentin. I like that movie too.
Oh yeah,
I can definitely see that.
He definitely dumpster dives a lot, but he likes the good stuff too. I've heard him talk about some pretty highbrow stuff too. But
have y'all ever heard of a movie called The Eliminators?
No, I don't think
so.
Oh
I shit, yeah. So, let me find this thing real quick. Anyway, I'm not gonna look for it. So I was at I was like, dude, I'm not gonna try to find anything. I was at the shop the other day, and I went to the VHS guy down the hall, and I was just kind of saying hi. And Andy from Gonzo Toys walks in, and he's like, hey, I'm looking for a VHS. You may not have this. And they're like, what is it? He's like, it's this movie Illuminators. And they all look at me because I had walked in like about 2 weeks ago and been like, oh, shit, you have Eliminators? And I bought it. And I was like, hey, why do you want Eliminators? And he's like, oh, do you have it? And I was like, yeah, it's not for sale. It's like a personal. It's one of the ones I sent a picture to you guys of.
Okay.
And he's like, fuck. And I was like, what? And he's like, I'm handling one of the actresses one of her earlier roles that's real obscure is that movie. And he's like, and I really wanted that. And he's like, fuck. He's like, you're not gonna sell it? And I was like, no, but I talked him into getting it signed for me. That movie's badass, dude. It's like this weird, awesome. like Mad Max, like cyborg amalgamation movie. It's really I fucking love it, dude. It's so bad. Great. Like the costumes are very clearly made out of like rubber and shit, and it's supposed to be like a robot. It's very 1994. Oh man,
nice,
dude. Yeah,
I haven't had time to watch too much. I rewatched Once Upon a Time in the West, which is one of my all-time favorites. The 4K just came out, and
was that my daughter? 4K?
Yeah, and it's like a top 5 favorite movie for me.
Awesome.
And my daughter came in the room like right when it started, and usually if I'm watching a Western or something, she'll look at it and be like, I'm out of here. But she came in and sat down, and she watched the entire movie with me.
Dang.
Yeah. 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's not a short one either.
And she watched the whole thing. I could not believe it.
Dude, let's go, Natalie. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Did she like it?
I think she
I guess so. She watched the whole thing.
I mean, I don't know. There's something about the iconography of that movie. I think it's like there's so much. I don't know. There's always like something happening. She was like asking me questions about stuff, and I was kind of explaining things to her, but she was actually like engaged in it. So that was really special for me because it's
dude, I'm like stoked for you. That's
really
awesome.
Important movie for me.
Yeah.
That reminded me. That reminded me of the movie I watched the other night because Charlie watched it with me. Oh god, dude, this is a bad parenting moment. So
now you have to tell us what the movie is.
The opposite end of the spectrum.
So I haven't seen 28 Days Later in like 10 years.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. So
yes.
And so I tell Brick, and I was like, hey man, you want to watch a zombie movie with me? And I only asked Bricken, and he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You want to see this one?" And I hand him the back, the Blu-ray case. He like reads it. He's like, "That sounds cool." And I was like, "Dude, they got like another one coming out called 28 Years Later." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, bananas, right?" And so we sit down. Dude, Parker wakes up at like 11:30, and he's like, and he goes, "Are you guys watching a spooky movie?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I want to watch it." And I was like, "Whatever." Charlie pops in there, and she's like, "Can I watch it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." All three of my kids never want to sit down with me and watch a movie.
Wait a second. You told me you don't get distracted when you watch movies. Last time I said that.
Wait, what?
So you don't have as many distractions as I do at home.
Typically, I don't. Typically, I watch them in here by myself with the door shut.
I'm just
no, that's what I meant, though, is that I sit in here with like fucking door shut.
Right.
But no, so we're sitting there, and I hadn't seen this movie in so long, dude. I'm like, da-da-da, play. Oh, shit, a dick. Look at her eyes.
Yeah, immediately.
Like, dude, immediately. And then, dude, so, you know, they're all covering their eyes. Parker is laughing hysterically for like, dude, he just keeps going, dingle wingle. I saw a dingle wingle. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'll start cracking up because I'm a child. And like, dude, my point is, Parker was out in like 10 minutes. He was back asleep.
Yeah.
Bricken fell asleep about, I don't know, maybe halfway through. But Charlie watched the whole movie. And she was like, "Yeah, well, now I'm terrified." But she did say she liked it. I was like, "That's crazy." And she was like, "Dad," she goes, "Next time, can you make sure there's not a wiener in the movie?"
With a straight face, I'm sure.
Very straight face. And I was
what
like,
about the part when the Marines are like all ready to jump on that young girl? Like they're just like bargaining for her, you know, basically.
Yeah.
That was,
in my personal opinion, that could probably happen in real life, man.
No doubt.
Yeah. So I have no problem with my kids seeing that and being like, "Yeah, fucking watch out for people." I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm definitely not an average person, and I don't do things an average person's way. I'm incredibly open with my kids. They know about my past. They know that I tell them about me because I don't want them to like think they can't talk to me about stuff. I don't shelter them because it doesn't do any fucking good. I know people that were incredibly sheltered growing up, and they're the weirdest people, man. My wife pops in like, "Fucking stop talking about me."
I grew up without a cell phone. How bad is that?
Dang. Oh,
wait,
man.
what?
How did you survive?
I don't know.
It's just one of those things, man. I don't know. I think like extreme amounts of cursing and like gratuitous sex is a lot, but like weird scenes of like violence and stuff, it's like I feel like that people need to know it exists. I don't know. It is weird. I was
just saying it was scary. Like if
it is scary. That's kind of what I'm talking about. It is scary. Real life is pretty scary, and
certainly
I don't know, man.
Suggesting you're a bad parent because my kids.
No. I definitely consider am I a bad parent sometimes, but I do the best I can. So
me too. Yeah,
no, but you gotta.
We're all messing up our kids.
I thought you meant that you wondered.
No. Yeah. Sometimes I worry if you're a bad parent too, but I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it.
Y'all are all quality people. Yeah, y'all are great fathers.
I appreciate that. I work really hard at it. I know y'all do too. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Every time I'm around you guys, I'm like, damn, y'all are awesome dads. Like y'all are just on point. So.
You know, today, speaking of like dad stuff, I know this is like a super tangent from the movie we're talking about, but like I went to the pool with my kids today, and because it's like the last time we're going to do that before school starts. It starts on Thursday. And I was like swimming around the pool with Bricken, and I was like, and I had, I take all three of them with me, and I was like, you know what I like about this? And he was like, what? And I said, no phones, man. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, it's just us hanging out. Like we have to, it's like the only thing that I got from the 90s still, the swimming pool. You go to the pool, you can't take your fucking phone. And if you do, you're an asshole. Like, get off your phone, man. Like, go swim in the pool, jump in the water. What are you doing? I see a couple people every now and then on the side of the pool, like, and I'm like, I hope your phone drops in this shit, man. But like, I like that about the pool. It's the only throwback we have right now. You go there, you can't have your phone.
That is cool.
And it's just nice to swim around. You got to talk to people. Bricken is super introverted, so he just kind of floats around by himself. I go check on him every few minutes and see how he's doing. He's just hanging out on his little floaty thing. I'm good. I'm like, all right, buddy. Let me know if that changes.
Yeah, they don't have like roller rinks anymore.
Man, I was just talking about roller rinks, bro. That was so much fun.
They exist.
Do they?
Still out there
around here?
Yeah, I've never seen one.
Yeah, there's a couple around. Yeah,
You go bowling.
Bowling is fun.
Bowling's fun.
We went bowling a while.
We should do that again. That was fun.
Yeah, that was.
I would do that. I'm down with that. I'll make the
Do
drive.
some billiards.
Hell yeah,
That'd be fun.
Whose pick is it this week?
Clay, lay it on us.
Oh shit! Here we go.
This isn't gonna get like a ton of views or anything. So
Well, come on, man.
I got Bounce Co-Gals.
Bounce Co-Gals.
It's on YouTube. Yes.
All right.
Japanese, I imagine.
Deep cut. Yeah. Deep cut.
Hugh, every movie you pick is a deep cut, my guy. Just so you know.
Maybe so.
It's not. No, it's. I've come around 100% on it though. Like I used to get very perplexed, or
hey, we're all scraping different barrels. The bottom of them.
Oh no, I'm about to bring some shit to the table that it's going to be like 14-month leftovers. You're gonna be like, what are we supposed to eat this? What are we doing?
So a co-gal is a girl or a person who uses their schoolgirl outfit in like regular settings. That's like they're in school. These girls are in school.
I like the direction you're going with this, sir.
Well, once you see the movie, but yeah, so it's there's a subculture in Japan that is the schoolgirl subculture, right? And so
I'm aware
they sort of wear those sort of in everyday settings. So that's what a kogal is. But in this movie, a kogal is actually a sex worker, and it's a hangout movie.
You see my surprise?
So, yeah, I hope. It's definitely a different one. So we'll see what.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being okay for friends and family, 10 being do not show this to anybody else. Where are we at on this?
Can we watch this with our children?
There's no nudity in it. There is some violence against.
Okay.
But it is at a distance, right?
So,
it's
like, probably with the wife, not with the kids, maybe.
Yeah, it's about prostitution. So,
okay, yeah, what wife, not kids? Then I just wanted to make sure.
I thought you said cowgirl. I was excited.
Have you seen Twisters yet? Dude, Twisters is killing it at the fucking theater, man. We still have that theater movie. It's still packing out theaters. The other night, I had a theater all by myself, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll be fine."
Glenn Powell.
Is that what it is, dude? I was like, "Man, I'm fine." It's like a fucking Saturday night, late night showing, and I was like, I'll be good. And so they sent the other person home. I had like 20 people in there. Within 20 minutes from me sending the person home, it went from like I think 21 people to 42 people, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I was running around like it was packed, dude. It was crazy, man. And I've had more like success doing Twisters than the other movies that we've got. It's weird, man.
It's made a lot of money.
I liked it, dude. I watched it with my mom. It was a pretty good movie. It was fun. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't like
it was okay.
It wasn't quality film, but it was like a good popcorn flick. Like it's a good one. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was just a fun time. But I'm just surprised it's still doing these kind of numbers. It's interesting.
There's not a lot out there.
That's what I was about to say.
That's true. That's
hardly
true.
Anything to go see. I mean, you saw how well freaking Deadpool and Wolverine did. I mean, it's rated R.
Yeah,
dude.
There's nothing else out there though.
No. I mean, trap.
Yeah, there is a trap out there.
Yeah, it feels like one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Fucking.
Anyways,
no.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, I had one I was gonna bring up a second ago. I watched The Black Coat's Daughter.
Yeah,
and holy crap, did the ending of that movie like completely blow my mind. Movie finished, credits rolled, and I went, okay. And it consumed my brain for the following like 3 or 4 days. Okay. I don't want to. It's very slow.
Yeah, don't because I want to rewatch that one, man. I really don't remember liking that one, and you've praised it quite a bit.
It's one that really, like, when the credits were rolling, I'm not sure what happened, but kind of like Long Legs a little bit. You put the pieces together and watched a few breakdowns and whatever, and went, Okay, this is like the craziest, saddest, like bleakest, which apparently I love. So
I'm beginning to think that I like bleak a lot, and I'm starting. I've gotten into a my movie desires come in waves, these giant waves where I'll watch nothing but one kind of thing, and then I'll switch to something else. And I think I've fallen into like a slower paced movie wave right now because I've been like Longlegs started that off for me, and I'm looking for stuff that's weird, slow. Like I don't know why I don't typically like slow stuff. Weird I'm into, but like slow I'm not really into slow. But I've been looking through my stuff. Like what do I have? That I mean, shoot, if you look at 28 Days Later, it's not really an action-packed movie for the first 40 minutes. It's pretty slow.
Man, that show I watched, Sharp Objects, was slow and weird and bleak and depressing. Yeah, it was crazy.
Dude, I'm into some weird shit right now.
Those kind of movies, they kind of worm their way into your head, and it takes time to do that.
Yeah,
you know?
And
that's why I like them too.
Yeah, it's very similar to Longlegs in that. I mean, I think Longlegs has a little bit more going on, but like I mean, I don't want to like ruin anything.
Yeah, I'm about to watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch it as well. I've seen it, but I didn't like it. It's been a lot. I don't remember hardly anything about it.
I mean,
is it gothic?
No, not really. I mean, I'll just say it's about these girls that like stay home from their boarding school or something like that. And I went in completely blind again. I mean,
it's got that girl in it. That's right.
It's got the girl from Mad Men and Sabrina.
Yeah.
And what Julia Roberts' like niece or something, or whatever she is, Emma Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch it. It's good. It's slow. It's slow, so be prepared. And it might not make sense when you finish watching it, but once you put the pieces together, it's. I mean, I don't know. I love that shit.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about it later. I'll talk to you. I'll watch it because I'm traveling a lot in the next 2 weeks, so I actually might download this onto my phone and watch it because I have a flight where I'm not gonna have like internet access for a while, a couple hours.
Yeah, I mean, you might just want to watch like a breakdown video and then watch the movie.
No, I might do that. I'm okay with that. I don't give a shit. I was telling you not to spoil things for their sake, not mine.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck. You can tell me the whole movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna forget it anyways, right?
I'll watch it for sure. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you something that had to do with movies, and I just like slipped right out of my head. Yeah, there's nothing else coming out in the next couple weeks, is there?
Aliens. I was gonna ask y'all if y'all wanted to make plans for Alien Romulus.
What day is that coming out?
Yeah, next weekend.
Next Friday.
You know, I've been waiting to see that movie. Between Hellraiser and Aliens, those are like two of my all-time faves. And I'm always
next Friday
because Aliens hadn't been hitting in a while, and Hellraiser, shit, they only have one good movie. No.
I think there's 3 good Hellraisers. Yeah, we're doing that. On the 16th it comes out?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going till the 12th. I can probably make something happen on the 17th on that morning on Saturday.
Okay.
If that's okay with you guys. I mean, look, in all honesty, man, you guys figure out what y'all want to do, and then I'll see if I can join. I have a lot going on in the next 2 weeks, and I don't want y'all to like try to work around my schedule. Something stupid happen and I can't go. So I can likely try to go Saturday morning if that's something you guys are able to do without much of an issue. Other than that, just let me know what you're doing, and I'll try to come along.
Okay, I was probably going to try to go at the Graveshard shift time.
Oh, Friday night,
10 on the Friday.
Okay, yeah, I won't be able to do that. I'm almost certainly going to be working that night, but I'll probably end up working fucking Alien. So, but I don't really care. I might just go watch this shit at Cinemark, dude. I don't give a shit at this point. I'm not gonna go and try to like order food.
Man, the last time you did that, you got hoed.
Yeah, I got a free pass too though, so I can go and eat and get some food. It won't cost me hardly anything. So I don't fucking know. Every time I go to the theater, I just hate it. I fucking hate going to theaters, dude. Like, ugh. Fuck a theater, man. I work at one and I hate them that much. Jesus. Like it's just such a I don't understand how as society we can't just go watch a fucking movie. I don't get it, man. How is it that hard? Like
it's not the theater, it's the people for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely just the people. I just don't understand it. I don't get how you go somewhere and go, man, I'm gonna go pay $15 to go watch a movie. I'm gonna show 20 minutes late. I'm gonna talk the whole time. I'm gonna turn my fucking phone on, and then when somebody tells me to shut up, I'm gonna argue with them. Like, I saw somebody almost get into a fist fight the other night at Alamo about this shit. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, at least Alamo doesn't put up with that crap. So
that is true. I'm willing to drive out there to not have to deal with this crap anymore.
Yeah, it's very few and far between over there, at least. I mean, we always saw freaking Cemetery Man, and like the dude next to us was so freaking drunk. He laughed at every stupid single little line. But I mean, he ordered like 6 different things, and he was by himself. They just kept bringing him food and beer and all kinds of shit. And
then he took him $4. Fucking asshole.
He had like 4 boxes of stuff to bring home. But yeah, he wouldn't shut up the entire time.
Dude, we had one like that too. Sorry. We went to see that Wong Kar-wai movie, 2049.
Oh yeah.
Or 2046 or something. And the lady sitting behind us was like making out, like basically trying to get on top of her boyfriend.
Yes. They were gonna get it on, man. I could smell it.
She was talking to me at the bar before we went in there, and then I was like, oh crap, they're going into my movie. And they were sitting right behind us. And she was talking and either making out with her boyfriend or she was like clapping at the movie. Dude, at the end of the movie, she stood up and clapped. She's like, that was a masterpiece. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
What about the graveyard shift where the guy was sitting next to me and he was talking about the cars, and I can't even remember what movie. It was like a glam
You're the
metal.
worst person to have somebody sitting next to you talking to him, man. You or me, I'll tell somebody to fuck off. I don't care. I'll smack somebody if I have to.
It was like a glam metal, like Satan movie.
Oh, was that the Black Roses?
Yes. And the guy next to me was just shit faced, and he was
talking.
And
I remember that. That was one of those secret screenings too. We didn't even know what the movie was.
Dude, I went to one once, and nobody else showed up. Like, y'all were all busy. I don't know if it was a Friday night or not. I can't remember, but I was sitting up in like row 2 where we typically sit, and there wasn't a lot of people in there, but like 2 seats over was a guy. I was like in the middle, and like he was almost at the end, right? And so I was like, well, there's not many people. It should be chill. And it was one of those guys that every single time anything remotely jokey happened, he's like, and I just kept looking at him. And about like maybe like the 5th time, I was like, it's not that funny. And he was like, huh? And I was like, it's not that funny. Yeah. And he was like, no, it's funny. And I was like, no, bro, it's not that funny.
Nothing's that funny.
Nothing's that funny. And then he was like, so he got kind of like uncomfortable. And then like 20 minutes later, he was like, and like looked at me, and I was like, the fuck, man. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I was super.
Well, he watched all 10 seasons of The Big Bang Theory, so you know, man, he's already been programmed.
Dude, I hate that show with every bit of my being, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, movie theater etiquette is something that needs to be brought up more, just in general. Dude, people need to understand it. You don't have to be a prick when you're watching a movie. Like, oh yeah, dude. I'm a grumpy, curmudgeonly.
There's some loud popcorn chewers too, who are just like chompity chomp.
Or like that lady chewing the ice during Mandy that night.
Yeah,
I
mean, yeah.
I thought you were going to jail. I was.
Like, I thought I was too, man. I
jail over the ice cubes.
That's the closest I've ever been to like hitting somebody and not doing it. Like I'm so glad that you were there. Jonathan was there, and I was like, I don't want to get arrested in front of my friends. Like, I don't like. I kind of want to work at this place. I don't want to go to jail over a movie. But yeah, man, I've seen like I don't know 5 people go to jail at Alamo. It's pretty hilarious, actually.
Really? Wow. Well,
yeah,
dang.
Cool.
What's that movie called again, Hugh?
Yeah, what I was gonna ask you too.
Bounce Co-Gals.
Bounce Co-Gals on YouTube.
Just the name of that just has me like kind of hard. I'm just saying, like,
it's not that kind of movie. Don't think it's that way. It's anti. So you know.
I'm just talking.
It's like,
shit.
Yeah. No, just get ready.
Okay.
I'm fucking bored ready for this.
Bounce Co-Girls next week.
Hell yeah.
See you later.
Later, dudes.